Okay, Dave, I got this all set up for you. You'll pull that valve body off. I'm pretty sure it's got 12-point bolts on it. I think they're 5/16 12-point. If you don't have any 12-point sockets, you can always use a box end wrench. Those are 12 points, and they should come off fairly easy. So just crack them loose, and then they should twist out if you don't have a socket. Once you get that valve body off, you'll take the solenoid off first. It's like 4 bolts, and then you'll take the valve body off, the rest of the bolts. You'll want to keep this piece off of it. This is the detent lever, and that's held in. I got all new bolts for you. Well, they're not used, they're stock bolts off a normal valve body. That's what they use for their valve body. And I'll show you where they go and stuff. So on the side of your engine, where you ran that ground wire, right here, that's where the modulator, you should have a plug right there. You'll have to pull that off, take the 5/16 out, pull the plug out, and then there'll be a little valve in there. Take a magnet to pull it out, or you can reach it through the bottom side if it doesn't come out smoothly. But it's this valve. This is a modified one that will have to go in with this valve body. So once you get all that out, put it in a bag. If you can send it to me, I'll send you some money for shipping. So once you get that out, you can take this one. It does have a little spring on it. I'll put some trans gel on it so it kind of holds it. But you'll stick that in, and it'll go the small end first, and then the spring will be the return spring. Once you stick that in, it should go nice and smooth. Like, it should spring back. And then the solenoid, I put a new O-ring on here. You'll have to use that detent then. And then you'll stick this in. Position the wires however you want it. Usually most of the time they have them up. But once you got that in, goes in pretty good. Then that part is pretty much done. Put your bracket back on and tighten it up. So that's the modulator part. I'll put all that in a bag. And then you'll have your valve body off, all the 5/16 bolts, or whatever size they are. I think they're pretty close. There's no check balls in there. The only check ball that's on there is similar to this one. It should have one big one inside it somewhere. Just make sure that's all in there. When you get it out, just put the valve body in here with the aluminum separator plate. So once that's off, then you have the reverse servo. This will be in here. You'll take all the 6 bolts out. They're 1/2 inch. Once you pull that out, it's probably going to make a mess. It holds a lot of fluid. Make sure there's a bucket under there. These 2 pieces should be in there. You probably don't have the rings on there. It doesn't matter. You can throw them away I don't need those back. This is pretty much all that's going to go back in there. Just make sure the O-ring's good on here. It comes off pretty easy. It should be brand new, so shouldn't have no issues with that. If you look at this case, there's a little hole right here, a feed hole. It's to the forward part of the transmission and the small center little thing. This is probably going to be the hardest part, doing it while it's upside down. Maybe put a little Vaseline or something, but this little metal check ball needs to get put in there. And you gotta, once it's in there, like, it's easier for me right now, but it'll be propped up there. Hope you can see that. Let's see. And then you smack it in with a hammer. This one's getting one of these valve bodies. I can put it on here. Should make a solid thumb. I'll send you a zoomed up picture of that all the way installed. So once you get that part, you can put this all back on. So that'll go on. You can see this area where it's cut out. This gasket, I'll follow that shape, and then this cover will go on, and then put all the bolts in and torque them to like 18 foot-pounds, 15 to 18. Or if you don't have a torque wrench, just make sure they're pretty snug. Once you get that together, there's a little feed hole right here. Pop the camera off. So right here, if you look at it, it follows the circuit into here. If you can apply some air to that, with like a rubber tipped air gun, just on the side like that, shove it in as good as you can, and just throw some air in there. You should hear this apply. It should push down, and then you'll see where your part of your park and paw assembly stuff is right here. You should see that rotate. Every time you apply air, just quick shot, let go. You might have to pull off for it to release, but it should rotate that just a little bit. That's like your reverse circuit. So this is the only thing that applies your reverse. This and your direct drum, which if you had forward gears, that worked. So once you test that, get that all together, and then you're ready to start putting your valve body in. I'm gonna send you a couple extra balls. It's just a stock valve body ball for your stock 400, but these trans brakes don't have any, so you won't have any. So I'll send a couple extra just in case they get lost. That's that. And then the valve body, there's a aluminum separator plate. Right here. You'll see how it goes with the right shape in that. There's no gaskets. There's no check ball other than the one that's in that valve body that they lube up and keep it in. You know, it shouldn't fall out. All you just put these on and tighten it up. You can FaceTime me if you need to. As far as the bolts, there's two different size bolts in this valve body. You got three like 1/4 inch size. This goes on, it'll go like that. The three go 1, 2, 3. Those are the 1/4 inch bolts. And then the rest of the holes, take the big ones. These big ones won't go in the 1/4 inch, so you shouldn't get that screwed up. And then you'll use one of these bolts. All these bolts, all these are the same. It doesn't. You can mix them up. It doesn't matter. But one of them will take that, and it'll go there. And then the rest go on. And then you'll tighten all those up. The bigger bolts, those will get tightened to 15 foot-pounds. And then the smaller ones will be tightened to 10 foot-pounds. I can't remember how the filter bolted on there, so I'm sending you a new bolt for the filter. This is the same filter you have. I just grabbed it so you can see what's going on. You got a threaded section right there. The best way to do it is you'll be upside down. It goes like this on the transmission. Is get this part on the tube first, and then swing it over, and then you should be able to line up, you know, this part and thread it. Normally they don't come with a washer. I like to put a bolt in a washer. Well, I like to use the washer so it holds the filter tight and doesn't flop around. It does have a little step on the spacer that goes towards the filter. So when you're looking at the filter, this is the part you'll see. The bolt goes on there first, and then the step goes towards the filter, and then you tighten it up. And that, just tighten it up firm. Probably 12 foot-pounds, or just snug it up so it doesn't come loose. It is aluminum, so just don't rip the threads out. And then you have to double check to see how that, it should be the same. There's the stud that comes through for your dipstick. Just, you have to check it to make sure it clears everything on the valve body. You don't need anything to hold anything in place. That's it. This is an external trans brake. So, trans brake solenoid. You can leave that pass through here. It's not going to leak or anything. Just disconnect the wire off of it. It don't pay to try to. I have plugs for them, but it'll be really hard to get to if it's in your car. So just disconnect it and then put everything in a box and send it to me. And then when you're doing this, if you want to FaceTime me. But that should be it. Yeah. Okay? Alright, thanks, Dave.